What's up, Ranger Nation? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Power Rangers Beast Morphers. This is episode 17. Ranger Reveal is the title. Alright, so you guys, I don't know if you guys know about what changes YouTube is making to content that they deem made for kids, which this is not made for kids. You guys will see a little bit of a disclaimer at the front of this video. So I don't know how much longer I will be doing Power Rangers. It's so sad because this is a show that I absolutely love. And to say that they will take away the comment section, take away my playlist, just take away everything from us with this. Like, this show, yes, Power Rangers is made for kids, but they also have a huge fan base that is mostly adult. Like, if you go to these cons, you mostly see adults. But, I mean, God, it's crazy. It is really crazy that they want to do this. Like, I feel like they're going to do stuff to certain Disney stuff. It's going to be hard. So, like I said, I just don't know how much longer I'm going to keep doing this, but I definitely want to finish it out. And, even if they do decide to go away with, if they do decide to say, hey, my stuff is made for kids, I will find another route. I will probably create a Patreon just simply for Power Rangers, So that way, my people know when my content is out and they can check for it. But without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and just jump into the video. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and just jump right into the episode. Now, I will apologize if my energy is low. I am coming down from food poisoning. This shit has been horrible since Thursday morning. But I'm feeling much better now. So, let's go ahead and just talk about the episode. So, we see the Rangers. So, the Rangers are at the news station. And they are at the news station because there's a celebrity by the name of Nikki. I believe they said Nikki Red or something like that. She's supposed to be coming there. She's supposed to be giving an interview to Zoe's mom. So, come time for the interview, Nikki calls her mom and says, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it to the interview. We also saw Ben and Betty in this episode. They had this thing where it was on their backs and they had a camera, so they were trying to get a selfie. I don't know why they would want a long selfie because it extended. So I'm like, that's not really a selfie if it's like 500 feet in front of you. If it's even a mile in front of you, that's not a selfie. A selfie would be, really, really close to you. But okay, I'll let them have it. I'll let Ben and Betty have it. So then we see Vargoyle. So Vargoyle shows up, and he attacks. And then there's a cameraman there who has his camera rolling the whole entire time. And he drops it as Vargoyle comes. And his camera was still recording. And the Rangers morphed. And what did the camera do? It captured their identities. And that is actually super similar. That's actually similar. Actually, it's not even similar. It's exactly what happened in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2 on the episode titled The Power Stealer, where the Power Rangers used an unusual defense against a vain monster sent by Lord Zed. That was a title description. That was the episode where the monster, he had a vanity to looking at himself in the mirror. So they used that to destroy him. And that was also the episode where Lord Zed sent down the putties in the park. And I believe that it was Tommy and Kimberly that morphed in front of the cameras. And then Bulk and Skull came up and noticed that the camera was rolling the entire time that the Putty Patrol were attacking. And they were like, if that's the case, then they know, then that camera caught the Rangers morphing. And then they know who the Power Rangers are. And you guys remember the whole thing of half of Season 2, actually all of Season 2. The whole thing for Bulk and Skull Season 2 was trying to find out find out the identity of the Power Rangers. That was literally all of Season 2. And there was 2 occasions where they actually came close to finding out who that occasion they almost found out who the Rangers were, and then they actually did find out who the Power Rangers were, but that the monster took away their memory, and then when they got their memory back, they didn't remember anything about the Power Rangers, which that was kind of interesting to me. But okay, that really was interesting. He took their memories, but then when they got their memories back, they did not remember that they knew who the Rangers were. I thought, now that I did think was a little odd, but you know, that's neither here nor there. That was 25 some odd years ago, so we're gonna let it go. But back to Beast Morphers. So, you know, the Rangers began to battle with Vargoyle. Now, when they're battling with Vargoyle, they notice that he has, you know, the cheetah strength, the gorilla strength, and then the jackrabbit strength. How did that happen? And they kind of, they're like, okay, they must have, figured out how to use our power some kind of way. But Vargoyle ended up having to leave because Vargoyle ran out of Morphex energy. So, so then we see Zoe. So she's talking to her. Well, actually, we saw Zoe's mom and the cameraman talking, and she's like, this camera, it was rolling the entire time that that monster was here, much like Bulk and Skull. It must have gotten the Ranger's identity. So he looks and he's like, this chip is destroyed. She's like, can you fix it? He says, yes, it'll take some time, but I can fix it. It's so funny, a chip. Whereas in 1990, what year was this? Was it 94? What year was season 2? Yeah, like 94. It's so funny. Back in season 2 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it was a VHS tape. So that was, even if that was destroyed, like that VHS tape would have still been intact unless it had been snipped. But you still would have been able to fix a VHS tape. Wow. A VHS tape. I am actually dating myself. I just dated the hell out of myself with that one. But okay. So then her mom tells, Zoe's mom tells her that, she's going to reveal who the Power Rangers are. And Zoe's like, but do you think that the Power Rangers would want that? Like, that's not something, if they have their identity secret, there must be a reason that they have it a secret, Mom. And she says, oh no, think about it. They'll be happy to be famous. And I'm like, if they have a secret identity, that would imply that they don't care about the fame. Because if they wanted to be famous, they would let everybody in Coral Harbor know, hey, we're the Power Rangers. Give us free food. Give us free this. Give us free clothes. We'll go on Instagram and model your clothes. Hashtag Power Rangers. Stuff like that. But that's not what they want to do. What they want to do is protect the Earth, against Evox and his band of goons. I'm trying to think of how many seasons did we know who the Rangers' identities were. We knew the Rangers' identity in Lightspeed Rescue, Operation Overdrive, because they did a television show, for God's sakes. The Operation Overdrive team did a television show. I was like, wow. They're on but Mighty Morphin Mighty Morphin was on a TV show as well. But they were morphed when they did their show. Operation Overdrive was in civilian form. So Lightspeed Rescue, everybody knew who their identities were. I think Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD. I mean, people knew who the SPD Rangers were. Yeah, I guess you could say SPD was known because SPD was an academy and they were like the police. So SPD, you can put them in there. Mystic Force, no one knew. Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury, RPM, Samurai. I wish people knew who the Samurai Rangers were. Samurai, Mega Force, Super Mega Force, Dino Thunder, Ninja Steel. Nope. Yep, that's about it. So that is it. Lightspeed Rescue, SPD, and Operation Overdrive. And like I said, with SPD, they're kind of on a gray scale with me because nope, I said SPD. SPD, they're on a gray scale because they were law enforcement. So that's understandable for people to know who they are because they're law enforcement. So I understand that one. But the fact that Operation Overdrive in civilian form went on a live television show, I'm like, wow. Zordon would not like this whatsoever. But moving on, you guys. All right, you guys. So in the cyber dimension, so we see Vargol, and he's giving his plan to Evox when Blaze and Roxy bust in and like, don't listen to him, boss. You know, he tried to attack the Rangers, but he was unsuccessful. And how many times have you two been unsuccessful with the Rangers? Numerous times. Numerous times. And they say, listen to us. We have a plan master, Evox. And then they show him their plan. He's like, oh, so you guys stole that from Vargol. And Vargol turns around with the device in his hand. And they're like, wait a minute. So you told him, Skrull? He says, not only did he tell me, he helped me build it. And then Evox says, you know what? If Vargol was smart enough to take that from you, then let him finish out his plan. I'm like, Evox doesn't care about Blaze, Roxy, Skrull, or Vargol. Whoever he feels can take out the Power Rangers, that's all he cares about. He is very reminiscent of Queen Benshira from Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, because Queen Benshira sacrificed her entire army. He sounds like Trakina when she, morphed with Deviat. She didn't care nothing about the Stingwingers or Villamax. He sounds like, who else? Master Org. Oh my God, he sounds exactly like Master Org. Because Master Org literally cared about nobody but himself. And he wasn't even a real Master Org. Master Org. He sounds, Master Org. Who else? Lothor. Because Lothor was selfish. Very selfish. All about himself. Mesogog was all about self. Mesogog was all about self. Broodwing was all about self. Broodwing was selfish. Who else? The list can go on, you guys, about the selfish people that we've had over the selfish villains. I should say specifically the main villains. If there's more that you guys want to name, name them down below. Selfish villains in Ranger history that you guys think are selfish. I can name some more, but let's see. Who else could I name? Moltor and Flurious they were both equally selfish, but they were both insufferable to me. I would have preferred a whole season surrounding Camdor and Mirachix, to be quite honest with you. I did not like Mirachix all that much, but I could have dealt with Camdor and Mirachix and, Bengalo, Mig, and Cheetor. I could have dealt with those. I could have dealt with all of them. But Moltor and Flurious, oh my God, were they annoying. And they were the last two to survive. That was the worst part. Moltor and Flurious were the last surviving villains of that season. And the one villain that I didn't want to survive the one that I did not want to survive until the end, survived until the end. Because I hated Flurious the most. Between Moltor and Flurious, I could tolerate Moltor more than I could Flurious. The only thing about Flurious that I liked was the chillers and his lair. But other than that, I literally hated Flurious. And then the way that he treated, what was his companion? What was his, Mig? No. What is the thing's name? I can't think of his name right now. The Yeti. His Yeti. Whatever his name was. That's how you know I don't really watch this season like that. Norg. The way he treated Norg. But, let's get back to the show, you guys. So, yeah. Moving on. Alright, you guys. I know that this video is long, and I'm really not trying to make it long, but these are some good talking points for me. So at the gym, we see Zoe. She's telling the others that her mom wants to reveal their identities, and her thing is she feels like the Rangers would be happy to be celebrities, and Robbie's like, no. Devin is like, maybe. Steel is definitely here for it. Steel wants to make a cooking show. And Robbie's like, you don't have a mouth, Steel. We need to talk about that, brother. I'm like, so Steel wants a mouth to eat. You guys, what does Steel think he's going to eat? You guys know, I've said it before, with this season, my favorite Ranger is Steel. I love me some Steel. That is my boy. The thing, now I do have a question about Steel. Why does he have a communicator on? Can somebody explain why he's still wearing a communicator? Because I noticed that in a Steel picture that I saw yesterday on Jacqueline Slisk. I had the hardest time pronouncing her last names. Sliskowski. When I was on her Instagram actually it was yesterday when I was at work, I noticed that Steel has a communicator around his wrist. Wouldn't Steel be able to hear frequencies? And wouldn't you be able to talk to him? Electronically. And then when he morphs, actually him and Nate specifically. Now I understand why Nate needs one because he needs to be able to talk to the commander, but Steel is a computer. You can talk to a computer electronically. But whatever, hey, who am I? I'm just a YouTuber who talks about Power Rangers. But, but he's like, yeah, we need to talk about that. The whole mouth thing. So, the others want to tell Commander Sean, and ouch, Zoe is like, no, just allow me to talk to my mom. And they're like, okay, Zoe, talk to your mom, but if things get too bad, we have to tell Commander Shaw. And she's like, okay, that's fine. So then we see Ben and Betty, they're still messing around with this invention that they have. And, at this point, it's slapping Ben in the face, and then it moves forward, and there's this woman that's sitting in front of them, and, actually, how the hell did that happen? It went around her head to come to her front to snatch off her wig. And it was the star. It was a starlet that they were been wanting to see, Nikki. And I was just confused about how did it go around over her head to get in front of her face to slide back and slide her wig all the way off. And mind you, her wig was not secured. Because I don't know a wig that should, I don't know no wig that should come off that easily. I know a wig can come off easily. I actually don't know that a wig can come off easily, but I'm pretty sure that a wig can come off easy. But if you have it tacked down, glued down, whatever, it should not be able to just come off by a cell phone. Like my hat. If you put something in front, it would have to be really strong to pull my hat off. But, whatever. And, everyone crowds around her, and Zoe's like, what, guys, we need to help her. So the Rangers help her, and they are able to get her out. So then Commander Shaw actually calls the Rangers and tells them, hey, there's a Robotron in the city, and then there's a Gigadrone that is materializing, so you guys need to take care of that. So let's move on. All right, you guys, now over in the cyber dimension, we saw as they were getting a plan together. So what the plan was I think this was a distraction for them. So sending the Robotron to fight and sending the Gigadrone was a distraction so that Vargoyle could go and plant the invention, get the invention ready and planted for whatever they have planned, which I don't know what they have planned. And I know some of you guys have saw the international spoilers. I thank you so much for telling me you guys can't wait for me to see the rest of the season. And from what I'm seeing, amazing. We have, 3 episodes left? They're getting better and better. So I have to agree with you guys that have saw the spoilers. This season is it started out good, and it's just gotten better and better and better over time. So I am ready to see these last 3 episodes. We have episode 18, 19, and 20. And you guys, like I said before, I'm more than likely not reviewing that Christmas episode. If I wake up and I see it and it's something that I want to talk about, I'll get on camera and do it. If not, there won't be a Christmas review. So just letting that be known right now. What else? So yeah, so we saw they split up into different groups. So we have Devin, we have Zoe, and we have Ravi. They're gonna battle the Robotron, and then in the sky, Nate and Steel are going to battle the Gigadrone. So on the ground, we see Devin, Ravi, and Zoe. They're battling the Robotron, and they're using their blaster on him. And I want to say this. I think the way that they incorporated this fight scene was exceptionally well. I could see where they made the transitions, but it was effortlessly, and it was so well done that it took me a minute to kind of see. Hey, they kind of changed scene. That they went from U.S. footage to Sentai footage, and the only reason why I was able to tell that it was Sentai footage is because with the U.S. and the Sentai footage, and it was really the Red Ranger that gives it away. The Red Ranger, because the Red Ranger, the suit actor for us in America, he's heavy, and when I say heavy, he's I guess he might be a little bit muscular, whereas the Sentai counterpart, he's slim in stature. So that's the reason why I was able to tell, hey, they went from U.S. footage to Sentai footage, but it was done excellently. It was done excellently. So I will give them kudos on that one. Now, with the Rangers battling with the Robotron, he's actually able to take their blast, spin it around and throw it back at them. So then they're like, okay, since he's able to deflect that, let's use our blasters. So they use their blasters, and like I said, Nate and Steel are in the ground in the sky fighting with the Gigadrome. Same thing is happening with them, and Nate calls for help, and they Ravi and Zoe tell Devin, go and help Nate. We got this on the ground. So then we see Devin and Cruz go to the Striker Zord, and they transform and they help out Nate and Steel. And then on the ground, Zoe and Ravi, they're still battling with the Robotron, and they do eventually destroy the Robotron. And then in the sky, Devin, Nate, and Steel do destroy the Gigadrome. So then, lastly, you guys, we have at the station the star, the girl Nikki. She's at the station, and Muriel, I think that's her name, Miriam. Don't quote me on that one. Zoe's mom. Her boss is telling her she's there, and she's like, I'm getting ready for this, this big expose on on the Rangers, their identity. So she's like, I can't do it. And then Zoe's like, well, can I do it? She's like, yeah, my daughter, she saw me doing this for years, and then she's a big fan, so absolutely let her do it. So they were like, okay, let's let her do it. So then, Zoe, the guys are like, well, do you know what you're doing? She's like, yes. She's like, I hope that this will help my mom see that it's not a good idea to reveal our identities. So she sits down with Nikki. At first, I typically sit down with experienced people, but since I owe you one, I'll do it. So then they sit down, and basically Zoe asks her, what is it like to be a celebrity? And she tells her what it's like. She says, the reason why I was late today is because at the airport, I wasn't even able to get out because I was surrounded by fans. She says, now don't get me wrong, I love what I do, but sometimes it can just be a little overwhelming for me. And, then, Zoe's mom, she gets the disc with the Ranger's identity on it. She goes on camera, and, she was talking about she was going to reveal it, but then in the last few seconds of it, she says, you know what, my daughter, she did that interview with Nikki, and it made me think, the Rangers, if I reveal their identities, everybody's going to want to bombard them, and that will make it hard for them to do their job. And they need to do their job to save and protect us. So for that, I am not going to reveal the identities of the Power Rangers. And, I was happy that she did that, and Zoe was as well. So then to close out, we saw Vargoyle and Scrozzle. So they are making their plan for the final battle against Grid Battle Force. Don't know what that is. I am excited to see it, but I don't know what it is. So you guys, that is the episode. So be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so that you guys know when I drop anything, and I will see you guys later.